All right, so you got one of these rectangles that play YouTube, and you're thinking to yourself, should I get one of these rectangles that plays YouTube? Well, I got some thoughts for you. I'm going to tickle your brainstem a little bit, but disclaimer first. Me old camera shooter 9000 was a little too old to like filming these devices, so I can't get both devices in the same shot for you. So I apologize about that, but we're gonna go over a few things that this rectangle does differently than this rectangle. Both rectangles are pretty good, but there's some caveats to it. So let's get started. First of all, we're gonna go over the design. Now, like I said, I couldn't get two rectangles in the same frame because, well, yeah. So we're going to cut out, I'm going to show you the S22 Ultra, do a little voiceover, and then the S24 Ultra with a little bit of voiceover, and that'll be the design portion of the video. From there, we're going to talk about battery life, the screen, the performance, and the cameras. And then at the end, I'm going to reveal one thing about this phone that I am just not a fan of. I just can't get around it, and it's not what you guys think. So stick around. Here's the design portion. Hope you enjoy. We'll be right back. All right, let's get into the design portion of the video. Here it is, Galaxy S22 Ultra. Just swipe it open, show you that it all still works. A few stuff going on there. One thing I can say about this device is the screen on this is a little bit more vibrant in terms of overall saturation and color than the S24 Ultra, but the S24 Ultra just has way more punch in terms of brightness. That's something we might talk about later in the screen portion of the video. So. All right, let's take a look at the design of the device here. Don't worry, all those scratches and stuff you see on the side aren't actually scratches. That's actually the original protection film from 2 years ago still on the device. I just haven't taken it off yet. So, very nice looking. Theme here is very rounded edges. Very nice feel in the hand as well. Very easy to hold, easy to navigate, easy to use. Now that screen, I do have to comment, not very reflective resistant and very fingerprinty, unlike the S24, but big beautiful metal brick nonetheless. Very premium feeling phone. I like it. Let's take a look at the S Pen here. Black, simple, not too much to say about it. I'll give you a little bit closer look here. Also write a little note for you. It's not going to be very good handwriting. Didn't press too hard, but there it is. Kind of similar to the S24 overall. Couple features for you. Let's take a look at the S-View cover for the Galaxy S22 Ultra. She's got a little bit of miles on her, so kind of look past that, if you will, but good, I like it. Something to note here, the slim form factor of it. We'll come back to that at the end of the video. But it's very slim, fits the device very well. Works as intended, so not much more to say to that. I'll let you see how it works, and next we will get to the Galaxy S24. Let's take a look at the S24 Ultra. Absolutely beautiful device, as we can see that flat display on there. Again, we'll come back to that later. Sides very premium looking. As you can see, this is not the same color, but the same design will apply across all devices, obviously. Now, the way the cameras glint in the light there is just beautiful to me. I absolutely love that. It's one of my favorite features. Very matte back on this one as well, kind of the same design. Still gets a little bit of fingerprints, but better than the glass that Samsung was making. Now, the glass, granted, was more pretty, but you couldn't use it without a case because all it would do is fingerprint up. But very beautiful design, very timeless design in my opinion. I think it'll hold up well over time. Here's a screen, same sort of app open and close test. And after this, we'll take a look at the S Pen and move on from there. I do have to add quick that I don't know if I said it previously, but the video on the S22 Ultra, which is what we're filming on right now, is making it look like these displays are 60 Hertz. That is not the case, so just kind of look past that. You can just look up S22 Ultra versus S24 Ultra on YouTube and see the speed tests, the comparison tests, the battery drain tests, all that sort of stuff. So here's the S Pen, kind of the same deal, gray for the purple color, but same deal. I'll write a note, a very poorly written note, but kind of the same features. I'll show you that it works as a shutter button for the camera as well. So if you want to set your phone up and record, you can hit the button, it'll start recording, or take a picture for you. A lot of unique features to it. Let's take a look at the S-View cover quick. We're not actually going to put it on the device, but I do want to note that the camera is making a little bit duller than it actually is in real life. But overall, very good design. Same standard Samsung stuff, but we'll take another look at this later. Alright, so now that we got the design portion out of the way, we're going to move on to battery life. As you can see, both these phones have really excellent design overall, and they're both excellent devices, but the designs do differ a little bit. This one has a flat screen, that one doesn't, so kind of interesting there. In terms of the battery, overall, since I've been using this device, it's very good. The difference between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which this device has, the battery management has really stepped up. It's what's really amazing to me is the amount of technology they pack in today. That this device is like so much more powerful with a battery that lasts even longer now. It's really just amazing. So the battery life on this S24 Ultra has really improved. Like the idle management is much better and the performance management is much better. Like this phone just does much better overall in battery life, even though it's got a complete spec upgrade. So I guess let's talk about the performance then. The S24, very good. It really, I gotta say, the best way to describe it is it's next gen, so to say. This really is like the UI that Samsung has always wanted to make. This is what their devices like when you see the video on TV or on YouTube of the new release and they're like, oh, check out all these new features. This device is so smooth and fluid, like there is no glitches left. There is no staggering. There is no waiting for the camera anymore. The photo just works. I never miss a shot. It's absolutely amazing. So the fluidity, like, it's so smooth. You can do so many things so fast. Like, when I'm on the internet, I can browse something and then I can click the next thing, click the next thing, click the next thing, click the next thing, and just keep going. Go back 3 pages. Like, there is no waiting for performance anymore. There's just none. It is so smooth and fluid. Like, this is the ultimate device. Whereas the S22 Ultra, really good in its time. Overall, it had some software updates in its lifetime, and I think we were on a previous version of Android for a little bit, and it just started to tank. And like, for a minute there, I was thinking about, like, well, what does Apple have to offer? Because like, it just was taking too much time on its current iteration. It was just so ironic that, like, within that time frame, within 3 days of me really being like, God, what is going on with this thing? They came out with an entire new software patch. So it might have been Android 6, or Samsung's, software 6 that goes on top of it. But it really fixed a lot of things. It's really good. The S22, good performance. But this is really like the ultimatum. Like, this is what it always has meant to be. Which is really good. I like it. Yeah. So next, let's talk about the screen. The screen on this is also, dare I say, next gen. Not next gen as in it like changes your entire world, but like, I feel like this device sets the new benchmark for screens. It's a little bit less saturated than the S22. But Samsung has acknowledged that, and I think they said they're going to fix it, which would be good. But honestly, I've gotten used to it because the fingerprints do not show up nearly as much on this as they did with the 24, the 22. And in daylight performance, like, look at my brightness right now. It's almost too bright for me. And I know you can't see that through video, but like that's all I need. That's all I need all day. All day, literally all day. And like the screen gets so bright, it's almost like a flashlight in the daytime if you have a bright background like this. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And in the daylight is where the difference comes in. The S22 is really reflective. It doesn't have this new anti-reflection screen, as you can see on it. And in the daylight, every time I open this phone in the daylight, I am amazed. Like, there's a little touch of magic to it that the S22 doesn't really have, because the screen is really reflective. But this one, there's like hardly any reflections, and it's just, I open it up and I'm always amazed by it. I'm like, oh wow, like my phone screen looks like a phone screen instead of like the reflections you see. It's really hard to describe, but like, you'll just have to try it yourself. It really makes a difference, and it's a bigger deal than everybody's making it out to be, I think. I feel like this is the new benchmark for devices. This is the new standard. People are just going to expect to have anti-reflective screen on their phone now. Like, it's not even a choice anymore. Battery life, we went over that. Design, we went over that. The performance, I think it's really the ultimatum. It's what Samsung has been trying to do since the Galaxy S. The screen is amazing. Last thing we have to talk about are the cameras. Now, I have an entire video dedicated to the cameras on this device. The more I use this device, the more I like the cameras better. I'm just happier with the shots this device produces versus the S22. The colors stay more true to real life. They don't get blown out of proportion. The video is much, much improved on this device. Yeah, you can't really see what I'm seeing, but like, it's just so crisp and clear, and like, the blacks are not blown out of proportion. On the S22, the blacks would always get blown out of proportion when you're shooting into the sun. So like, the colors would distort a little bit, and the video on the S22 really, I wasn't a fan like from the moment I got it. And I hate to say that, but like it has some weird processing artifacts in it that like were just hard to ignore. Um, yeah, I just didn't like it. This device fixes that pretty much. This device is definitely an upgrade from the S22 in terms of the video performance as well. So overall, would I recommend this device as an upgrade? It depends who you are, is really the answer. So if you are a tech person and you want all the latest tech and you want to experience something new and you've had your S22 for a while, I think it's worth it. The Samsung trade-in program plus the $150 off they gave you for the pre-order deal, and I know that's not going on anymore, really makes it worth it, because the S22 Ultra is 2 years old now, and the next time it comes out, Samsung comes out with a new device or Apple comes out with a new device, your S22 Ultra is going to be worth even less for trade-in. It's going to be worth even less on Marketplace if you want to sell it outright. And the S24 Ultra is just such a... it's incrementally amazing. I think that's the best words I can put for it. The more I use it, the more I fall in love with it. The screen outside makes such a big difference. The photos that come from the camera are just better. The video it takes is just better. The UI, the user experience on it, is what Samsung has been intending for a long, long time. And the last thing, the battery life. This phone is much more powerful, and the battery life management is so much improved over the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. It's really amazing the leap they've made. And just looking back on some old tech, it's just amazing how phones get more powerful, but then the battery management, since consumers have such high expectation, has to be better. This phone does that. It literally does everything. Now, is it going to be outdated eventually? Yes. Like, there's no doubt about that. We have new, borderline, crazy devices coming, and this is just a sneak peek into what the world is going to look like next. But I guess one thing I do have to touch on the AI quick. Is this phone worth buying for the AI? No. It's really all the other improvements I just talked about that makes this phone worth it. The AI is cool. It doesn't work very good indoors though if you're dealing with shadows and like multi-layered objects. So like if there's like a 2-part wall and an object you want to move to a different part of the wall and there's different materials, different colors, it can't generate that fluidly. Outside, I haven't tried it too much. And you know, it's kind of an update thing, so it's all going to trickle down to like the old devices anyway. But like this is a worthy upgrade to the Galaxy S22 Ultra, I think, like for multiple reasons. First of all, my screen is not on 60 hertz. I'm filming on the Galaxy S22. And as we can see, it's kind of struggling at the moment, but that's okay. That's okay. Who is this not for? People who don't really care about their phone, who it's just a tool to, as long as it takes pictures, as long as it does video, as long as it does everything you need to, you should not upgrade, because this does all the same stuff. Like I said in my other video, tech today is so good that the updates are not revolutionary anymore. They're evolutionary. The devices used to have these new features, and these new features used to be totally different from the other devices. And you get the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 7, and then the iPhone 8, and then the iPhone 10 was really revolutionary. Well, I don't know about revolutionary, but got a little bit more modern when that came out. And like I said in my previous video, my favorite era was the S3, S4, S5, Note 4, all the Note series were absolutely fantastic devices. I think they were the best devices that Samsung produced. This is a Note. They've just rebranded it into the S line. They've integrated them. So, evolutionary upgrade that brings you up to the latest tech. It's better in every single way than the S22. But if you're not a tech person or not a power user of these devices, just keep your S22. It's probably going to get the updates. It's probably going to get the AI features. It's probably going to serve you well for another 1 or 2 years as you wait for the S25 or the Flip 6 or the iPhone 16 or whatever tech craziness is right around the corner. So, final thoughts on the video there. One thing I don't care for about this device. This is specific to me and my scenario only. I did not put this on the design portion because I want to show you something that bothers me. Now, granted, the color of this is a little bit more purple in real life than you're seeing on the screen here, so keep that in mind. But like, this is an amazing device. Something that bothers me is honestly the flat screen. Now, I know everybody is liking it, and I like it too. I think it makes this phone kind of just simpler, and it's a more timeless design that really can last more through the ages without taking too big of a step in like a new direction. But part of the reason I don't care for it is because this is the only case I use on all my phones. I love the S-View cases. Despite what everybody else says, I love them. So let me clean this off, and I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to show you what I don't like. She doesn't like it. Well, that was a struggle. Okay. This is what I don't care for. And I know it's extremely unique and nobody may care about it, but the Galaxy S22 S-View, as you saw in the design portion, was thin. The screen wrapped around and therefore it forced this S-View case to be thin. This, it's thick. It's a thick case and I don't mind it at all. I actually really like it, but there's just something to it, that curved screen and that thinner S-View case on the S22 Ultra, that makes it feel more of a futuristic device. This is better in every single way, and it's amazing, but like, it's just a box now. It doesn't have those edges that make this feel like an infinity display. Now, overall, I think this display feels bigger than the S22 because of the flat screen. It doesn't wrap around, so it doesn't have that weird taper look on the side of it. So it's all screen. So overall, the real estate feels bigger on this. But with this case, specific case on, it feels more boxed in. And like it just doesn't feel as futuristic. Very small complaint I have. I'll get used to it. I love the device. It's fantastic. I think we have a lot of progress to make in terms of tech. But yeah. Well, you decide for yourself. Those are my thoughts. Galaxy S22 Ultra versus S24 Ultra. I think it's a worthy upgrade. I do, for the correct people. I think that's my ultimate conclusion here. If you're a tech person, if you like having the newest thing, if you don't want your device to be too outdated or you want at least some value left when the next device comes out, get this device. Samsung offers a trade-in deal that you will not be able to sell your old phone on the market for the price they give you for it. It is worth it. If you aren't a tech person, it's not really worth it. I don't think you're going to notice the huge difference. You're not going to be able to appreciate the new features. I feel like the screen, you will notice. You will notice that in the sunlight directly. That improves your life. And you will notice it's faster. You will notice that all your tasks and everything you do are just so fluid and really the ultimate experience that Samsung has been trying to give us. It's like Apple good now. I can properly say that. Like, there is no comparison. It's just which UI do you like better. It's not that Samsung's slow anymore. This is fantastic. But the S22 Ultra will serve you for many years. Like I said before, there's absolutely no problem with it, but the S24 Ultra, definitely a worthy upgrade in my opinion. So, hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.